Okay, firstly, the situation of the current Premier League clubs. I feel that Liverpool have ended this season strongly, along with Tottenham as well. The reason being that they're in the final of the Champions League, though none of them has been able to do much in the league. Yes, the Reds have finished in second place, but that counts for nothing. They may have had a great season with 97 points now, but City had 98, and they are the champions of England once again. They have retained their title. If they can beat Tottenham, then yes, they will end the season on a positive note. If they fail to do so, then again it's back to the drawing board for Klopp. Jurgen Klopp has not won a single title with Liverpool in the time that he has been there, almost 4 years now. So the fans will start, even though they are supporting him blindly, they will start asking questions, criticizing him why they have not been able to win a single title so far, despite making it to almost 4 to 5 finals and challenging for the league as well. So now the ball is in his court. What kind of changes he makes? Will he sign another Shakiri kind of player who has the talent but won't get the opportunities at Liverpool because he favors the three trio of Firmino, Salah, and Mane? Sturridge is already set to leave. Origi may stay. We don't know what is the future of other players as well. So that is another chapter that needs to be addressed. Moreno may leave. I don't know what Danny Ings has planned for himself, but he is one talented superstar. Maybe if he would have been there at Liverpool this season, they wouldn't have probably lost the league as well. But yes, there are a lot of positives there for Liverpool. And for Manchester City, another title defense. But now it'll be interesting to see which players leave them. Maybe Gundogan may go away. He may leave City, leave the Etihad, and move on with his career. He hasn't been given enough chances there. He may consider moving to a rival club or moving out of England completely. Let's see what he does. He has a good option in Arsenal as well because already Aubameyang and Mkhitaryan are there. So he can join them along with Socrates, who's also there. That can become a Dortmund reunion kind of. So that is a potential move that he can consider, though Arsenal need to win the Europa League and make it back into the Champions League first for that. That is a certainty. Without that, he will probably not even consider them as an option. And not a lot of players would. The thing is, it's not Unai Emery's fault that they're in such a situation, but the problem is with the owners, Kroenke and the board. They still are making plans as to what needs to be done. I don't think they have given him a sufficient budget for the summer as well. So it depends on winning the Europa League and spending that money probably on getting in some new players. Chelsea luckily have put a freeze on the transfer ban, so they will want to buy 5 6 players more. If some of their players are leaving, they have already given David Luiz a new contract, so he's not going anywhere. Depending now upon how Hazard and the youngsters, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, decide what the future will be, more things can happen. Let's see what happens in the case of Higuain as well, Kovacic. So there are a lot of questions to be answered. This transfer window is totally going to be crazy. There's no doubt in my mind that this transfer window will have at least 10 transfers coming from the top 4, and apart from that, maybe 5 or 6 more coming from the fourth, fifth, and sixth place, that is Arsenal and Manchester United. All of them. If Arsenal makes it to the Europa League, definitely they will want more players. If they win the Europa League and make it to the Champions League, Ramsey is leaving. They need defenders. Ozil may leave. They need more replacements. Welbeck may leave, as it has been suggested. So they are also in the search of more players. Peter Cech is going to retire, so they will need a new goalkeeper as well, a backup keeper. So there is going to be a lot of transfer activity. Minimum of at least 15 to 20 players will be signed by these top six clubs. If they do not sign players, it will be a mystery because even the Tottenham Stadium is now ready. So they may look to make a move here and there and add some more quality to their attack. Though Llorente did a good job in Harry Kane's absence, they need to find another attacker who can add more backup to the likes of Son and Lucas Moura. It can probably be a prolific scorer who can provide the goals when they are needed so that the pressure on the backs of Son and Moura is reduced a bit. It would again depend on probably if they win the Champions League or not. If they win the Champions League, they may get enough funds to buy a couple of more players up front. Some of their defenders may be leaving, they may add more defensive reinforcements and possibly a midfielder or two also with the money that they will get out of the Champions League win. The Champions League win can be a win-win situation for Tottenham. Liverpool may not be impacted as strongly as it may impact some of the clubs that are in need of money, but Liverpool will definitely want to win this for Jurgen Klopp and their fans who deserve something after the 4 years of rebuilding that he has put into the club now. So that is another situation that needs to be addressed. But tactically, I favor Pochettino even though I'm an Arsenal fan. I know what he can do. He has been the miracle that Spurs needed maybe for decades and centuries now. Whether he can win more titles or whether another bigger club tries to snatch him away from Tottenham, it will be interesting to see now. Real Madrid may consider him in the future. Right now, no, because they have Zidane. Zidane is there. He has come back, so right now they don't need him. Barcelona, if they sack Valdez, they may consider getting Pochettino for the job. There are other clubs as well that will be interested. So there is a lot of story going around there. With respect to Real Madrid, they really need an overhaul as well. They will be looking to get in players, but I don't think they will be trying to get too many Premier League players unless Hazard and Pogba are on the radar and they will be their biggest catches. I think Pogba is going to leave Manchester United. He must have had enough of this Europa League stuff and won't be interested probably in staying anymore. David Daya may be also leaving because their performances against Cardiff City were heartbreaking for the fans. The fans know that these players don't really seem interested now in playing for Manchester United and Solskjaer. He did what he could and probably should have just remained an interim manager, but they have signed him. Since then, the performance level has dropped, the work rate has dropped. So it's now up to Real Madrid to come and free the likes of Pogba. Even if Eden Hazard does not sign for Real Madrid, Pogba definitely will be leaving. It seems to be the case. Apart from that, Manchester United should probably sell Lukaku. They have sold the wrong player. Ander Herrera should have never been sold. He was one of their best players, and this still he should have not been let go of. If they had to sell any Spaniard, it should have been Juan Mata, who was really old now. Even though he has the skills to still perform, but he does not have the stamina in him and the work rate. Already that was an issue in his prime, but what more can we say now about it? He's not getting any younger anymore. They need more defenders as well. Some of the youngsters have done decently in recent times, but there's a defensive overhaul that is needed. So I think Manchester United will get at least five players or more in the summer transfer window. And especially the PSG signing of Herrera was a turning point. They definitely need at least a couple of more players now in midfield. Fred is not a reliable option. Matic is already too old. They need a change there. Who will come in? That will now depend on what kind of targets they're pursuing and if Solskjaer can convince them. The problem is Solskjaer is not a strong manager. That is why many of the former Manchester United players do not want him as a permanent boss. And now with the fact that they are not in the Champions League and will be probably contesting for the Europa League, it will not be easy for them to get in more players that easily. Apart apart from that, Arsenal's biggest hope will be winning the Europa League title, making it back to the Champions League, making a good bounty of money that can be spent on bringing in more players without Kroenke having to invest, without Unai Emery having to go back to him and ask for money. If that happens, I think Arsenal's progress under Emery will definitely start from the point when they win the Europa League. The title win will obviously make the fans happy and they will have a European trophy finally. Arsene Wenger struggled to do so and never won a European trophy. So this would be totally breaking the jinx and Emery winning and becoming the most successful manager once again. He already here is in the history of the Europa League, but extending his success in the competition. So that would be another bonus factor. A return to the Champions League would be another positive point. So there are many positives that can happen for Arsenal, but they need to win that final against Chelsea. Surrey has saved himself from embarrassing himself by winning, by securing a place in the top four. Now that is a very big positive because Manchester United and Arsenal have not been able to do that till now. If they will be able to do so, Arsenal, that will only happen if they win the Europa League. So let's see how Chelsea plays that final because they did not totally, they looked totally demotivated in the match against Leicester City that they played on the last day. It was expected to be so because they were not in any need to win it, and motivating these players is totally impossible when they know that there is nothing up at stake for them. That is why many of the managers have been sacked over the years, including the likes of Mourinho and Conte, who were sacked because the players did not perform because there was nothing left at stake after they had lost the Premier League title, though they managed to win the FA Cup last year as well. So there are a lot of factors. There are many factors that are influencing the performances of these teams right now. As I said before, Liverpool are favorites to win the UEFA Champions League, but I would suggest that from my end, that Pochettino is better than Klopp, and his tactics and brain will win this final for Tottenham. Even though I don't want it to happen, but I know it will happen. If it doesn't happen, then I'll be with the Liverpool fans celebrating. But this is my prediction, and I don't want to be cocky like Paul Heyman from the WWE, but I feel that it's not a prediction, it's more of a spoiler. So let's see what happens, even though the Liverpool fans are not happy about my recent opinions on the whole Klopp thing. They won't have a choice at that point of time. They will be angry, they will be pissed if Klopp loses the Champions League title again, this time to Tottenham especially. The main problem is, see, they are giving Klopp a lot of credit for many things that he has done. Agreed. But what he did not do was, it was not his doing to get Liverpool through into the final against Barcelona in the second leg. Yes, he would have prepared his team, he would have mentally charged them, but at the end of the day, it was the team and the players that were dropped to the bench and finally played in this game. What happens when you drop a talented star, like the example of Juan Mata at Chelsea, when he was not being played? Eventually, when he was even being brought on, he couldn't do much. His morale was down, his form was gone. Example of Fernando Torres, example of Alvaro Morata. So these players, Liverpool players, they gave out their 100% and beat a team like Barcelona that was one of the favorites to win the Champions League title and had already beaten their side 3-0 in the first leg. That is not a manager's doing. A manager cannot make that happen. It is one, lucky, two, a miracle, and three, the players have to be in that frame of mind themselves. So I do not give Klopp the credit for that. The way I could see the way he started the game the first half, it seemed like he did not believe too much in them. But yes, He knew that there is a chance if they got an early goal, which they did. But after that, the Robertson substitution also came up because Robertson was injured. And on came Wijnaldum. Again, I was hoping that Wijnaldum would start, but not as a striker. That team selection against Barcelona, the first leg was pathetic and it nearly killed off the tie. Eventually, Wijnaldum came on. He scored a brace, which he should have started the game. But anyways, that was done. Alexander Arnold, who was not played in the first leg for whatever reason, because Klopp believed that his team would have lost, he started the second leg and they totally owned Barcelona. You cannot go against a team that is an attack-minded team and try to defend them with the quality that Barcelona possesses and the likes of Messi that they have. They eventually tried to attack in the second leg and they were successful in beating a team 4-0 that was a top team. So that was the right kind of tactic that they should have employed, and the Naby Keita injury was the turning point of the game. But he brought on Henderson at that point and not Shaqiri. I don't know whether Henderson was not prepared mentally to be part of that game and play that pressing kind of game that should have been played in the first leg as well. But that is where the game was lost. So though Liverpool does deserve to go into the Champions League final, there is no doubt in my mind about that. I am not so sure that it was Klopp's doing, but more luck on his part and the fact that his team has given a fitting response. So now let's see. I hope that he does not fail to make the right kind of selection for the final because there's no going to be second leg or second takes in that final. And if he can put up his best team and the best team can perform to the best of their forms, they should win it. But Pochettino is a master tactician and he will have a way to counter Klopp. And that is why I'm still going with my Tottenham winning the Champions League theory. If it goes to extra time and probably to penalties, then the winner can't be predicted. But apart from that, if it is a normal time, I feel that Tottenham will be able to counter Liverpool. And that is what has been the plan of Pochettino all this while. He was never a person who was going to win the league, according to me. Because without spending money, you can't win a league competition, but you can win a cup competition. And that is why he has targeted the right competition, that is the Champions League. Either ways, for an Arsenal fan, whichever club wins, it will be misery for us unless we win the Europa League and make up for it. So let's see how that works out. Last but not the least, as an Arsenal fan, I want Ozil out. I don't think he deserves to get the contract that he's getting. Mustafi out, Licksteiner out, and Zaka may be a 50-50. He can do fine apart from that defensively. Monreal is getting old. Monreal can probably shift into a centre back, left centre back, and Kolasinac can do the wing back role. The other thing is he should be made to do it regularly. Other thing is Kasholi is getting older, but yes, he's still fine. He's a good defender. Socrates can grow. Rob Holding will be coming back. Bellerin is there. Niles can also develop, but Bellerin will be the first choice. Obviously, Niles can get a run in midfield probably where he is supposed to be actually playing. He's a midfielder. If not, a lot of people might know that he's actually a midfielder. If you do, then great, but still, he may get a run finally as a midfielder, probably, maybe a right center midfielder with Ramsey out of the picture, so that can be a case. So ultimately, I want more defenders as well in the squad. These guys are not top quality, not all of them. Monreal is getting old, that is a problem, otherwise, he was good. Kolasinac needs to be consistent, otherwise, he can also be dropped if there are more options coming in. So that is the situation at Arsenal. We need one backup striker unless Nikitia is consistently played. Willock is a decent midfield option, but I don't think he's ready for the big leagues right now. He may play in the cup competitions. Smith Rowe is a good option that can be used to replace Ramsey. Hopefully, his loan move away has given him the confidence and the experience that he needs to replace Aaron Ramsey in the long run. Obviously, it won't happen within a year. Genduzi is a good player that we have signed. Torreira is a good player that we have signed. That midfield seems a bit more stronger. Dennis Suarez unfortunately did not get the chance to make an impact and probably will go. Mkhitaryan again a 50-50 for me, but honestly I did not like him at the start of the campaign. He has grown a bit into the fans, but and has gained a bit of confidence. But I think I would not give him the benefit of the doubt if we have some great players coming in. If not, then we'll have to stick with what we got. So that is more or less the situation and the roundup of the Premier League, in my opinion. And I feel that the title was won by the team that deserved it, because Liverpool had bottled the title back towards the end of 2018 and the start of 2019. They had a 10 or 12 point lead at one point of time and should have probably won the title, which they pushed to the last day of the season, which was not going to be in their favor. But they were hoping that City would drop a few points, but City did not. Obviously, Company came up with a crucial game-changing goal last week, and today it was again uh, four goals on their from their attackers. So though they had the nervy moment where they were a goal down at the start, they eventually turned things around quite well. So it was never going to be a Liverpool win, and Liverpool have themselves to blame for it. Whether they lost just one game in the entire season doesn't matter at all. They had a lot of draws that shouldn't have been draws, and they suffered because of that. Hopefully, they can make it up for that in the Champions League and finally give the fans something to celebrate about. But right now, this is all that I got for you. This is from Beyond the Post. Net, and have a nice day.